2 slots remaining at TI 11 to compete for the Aegis at the Showcase of the Immortals. My name is Snare, and I'm joined yet again by Kezu as we go into our second game of the day between Wildcard Gaming and Team Liquid. Right now, as it stands, Team Liquid have already succeeded in winning out game number 1. The question is, Kezu, can they do it again? Will they be able to pull out another W here and push Wildcard Gaming into an awful predicament of having to go 0-2 on their opening game of the day? Or do you think Wildcard Gaming have reset enough? Did you see enough glimmers of hope in game 1 that will get a more competitive game 2?
I definitely saw enough good things from Wildcard to think that there's a high chance that they can just come back in the second game and give us a good showing. I would like the game to be a little bit different in terms of the picks and bans and like how the setup is going, so that the game is changed a little bit for Wildcard, just so that they feel good with what they have, or maybe if they were confident with what they had before, then they can run it back. But for now, I would say Liquid are looking very, very good. But Wildcard Gaming in the first game, I think they showed us a lot of signs of hope. They showed us that they're alive, ready to play. So, I just want to see them adapt and do better in the coming game.
If any of you were to just look at the stat sheet at the very end of game number 1, one might be forgiven for thinking it was a stomp, but certainly, like Kezu was mentioning, there were some glimmers of hope from the side of Wildcard, and for quite a long time, it was a closer affair than you might think otherwise. But now we are going to be getting into our second game. We're going to be seeing exactly how things are going to be shaking up draft-wise, because as Kezu was mentioning, changing things up in that dimension can help a lot. But there are some squads that are a little bit stubborn and just want to stick to their original and initial ideas. They're like, hey, we came here on the back of these particular ideas. We've got to keep it going. Before we look at the draft here, I just quickly want to highlight something. Remember, we were talking before we started these games about how Team Liquid had not played the Undying just yet. How great is it to play your first game on Undying, look that hot on the side of Team Liquid? Now other squads are thinking to themselves, damn, we can't just leave Undying in the pool anymore against this Liquid squad. They can still run it and be very effective with it, even if they don't have their Earthshake or the Mossy.
No, it's absolutely good for them. It just goes to show you that they prepared for today's, for the series. They know that they can play Undying. It's not like the most complicated hero to play, right? It was maybe not their full comfort, but they prepared well for what they want. You can also see that Wildcard, they don't think that their first phase was a problem at all. And I would kind of agree with them. I think this Lina Snap opening is absolutely okay, as both teams run back the absolute same scenario from what we had last game. So now we'll have to see our Wildcard picking Silencer again. Are they going to swap it up? I think for the sake of them, it would be good if you swap it up here and go for something else, as they will stick to it. I guess we're just rewatching the entire same drafts there.
All right.
We'll see how this one goes. They did ban Beastmaster this time, but there's a Lycan, which I feel like just offers a similar story. So I wonder if that's what Liquid will go for here.
I mean, we have seen Team Liquid in the past or playing this Lycan in multiple roles as well, so that could be a difficulty for Wildcard to deal with. I do like that they banned this Beastmaster because Zaya was looking hella hot, and I'm sure there's a couple of deaths that Lina for alone is going to look back on and say, man, if only they didn't have Primal Roar, I would have been able to get out of the situation. But I'm very curious to see where they're going to go with this from Team Liquid, right? Because very often I've seen the squad being driven by the offlane. So Visage Nyx. Oh, please don't be Visage Nyx. Say it.
I mean, they traded the Beastmaster ban for Visage. That's the hero that they banned out last game in that same slot. So, actually, maybe I'm wrong. It may have been someone else who... Either way, Visage was banned in the last game. I could be wrong. Maybe it was even Liquid who banned it. But this game, they just go for the Visage. I don't see anything wrong with the Nyx Assassin. We saw Boxy have insane impact in the last game. It's the same story, right? It's the same as the last game. It's great against Lina. It's great against Snapfire. It works really well with Visage. You frontline for him in the lane, and you can pull waves.
Yeah, and you can set up for these Sunstrike kills for Mike, as we saw in the last game. Great times. I am not happy if I'm a Wildcard Gaming fan right now, because this just looks incredibly annoying. Just on all sides of the map, right? Undying +1, Visage, Nyx.
Yeah.
Whew. And the thing is as well, you have the Silencer lane that the Visage Nyx is going to be playing into. Silencer does nothing here, right? There's no way that Silencer can muscle these heroes off of the lane.
The only way Silencer is gonna do well in his lane is if he can backpack off of his carry. That's usually how Silencer works. If your carry is stronger than the enemies, then you can help him be strong. But if your carry already has a hard time, then Silencer doesn't change it. I think in this game, they should not pick Troll. The only time I have to fully disagree with them is if they now pick Troll. I think something you could see last game is that Lina, Troll, they're very similar heroes. And usually when you have a draft where two heroes share the same type of let's call it an archetype, right? You're like physical, single target, you have to win the fight in your BKB type deal. I think it's not good. So I would like for them to switch up their type of carry pick this game. I could see something like a potential Sven or maybe a melee hero that's going to have a BKB at some point that can go in and complement the Lina. Similarly to TA, I like it more when you have heroes that can help Lina to go in and deal damage.
Well, this is very different from what they were doing in the previous game, since they had the Troll Warlord. Naga Siren can, I suppose, set up for some of that Lina damage down the line. She can also ensure that you have...
help Lina to go in and deal damage.
Well, this is very different from what they were doing in the previous game, since they had the Troll Warlord. Naga Siren can, I suppose, set up for some of that Lina damage down the line. She can also ensure that you have set up for the silence as well. You song into silence. It's a very good situation with the Morty's Kisses raining down from above. But I'm not sure how... I've always had like a weird read on this hero. I'm never really sure exactly when it's the best time for it. What do you feel here? Is this a good game for this Naga Siren? There's not that much wave clear on the side of Liquid. All they really have is like, what, Tornado to try and deal with mass amounts of units. But overall, do you still feel this Naga Siren? Is it the good option here for Wildcard?
So I was actually thinking that they wanted to pick Naga last game. I would say like Naga is... It's
amounts of units. But overall, do you still feel this Naga Siren? Is it the good option here for Wildcard?
So I was actually thinking that they wanted to pick Naga last game. I would say like Naga is... It's a very good Naga game, mind you, against Team Liquid's heroes. It's very good against Undying. You can always song away from the Tombstone. He should do well in the lane. And most of these heroes don't deal too well with you. It's a little strange with your lineup, though. And I feel like this is sometimes a little iffy when you do have... And most of these heroes don't deal too well with you. It's a little strange with your lineup, though. And I feel like this is sometimes a little iffy when you do have the silencer hero. You want a lot of team fight with it and heroes that go in. What Lina wants to play with are heroes that go in for her so she gets to deal damage, where Naga doesn't fit the build too much. So it's more of a... We like Naga a lot against what Liquid have. So it's important for the last pick of Wildcard to kind of bring the lineup together. It's going to be a lot, again, on Dalai Lama to perform and make sure that he's going to have a teamfight hero. It's very likely that he's going to end up with Mars again. But first, we're going to have to see what Liquid go for. They need an answer to Naga Siren in this game. It's going to have to be a hero that builds Mjolnir or has a lot of AoE damage.
Let's see. What is left that can fulfill both of those? What if they pick Troll? That would be hilarious. They're like, oh, we want to build Mjolnir on Troll, but I don't think so. Let's see. So Team Liquid have about 90 seconds remaining. Not even going to use it. Pudge. Okay, yeah, so Agsrot. That's going to be the option to deal with these Naga illusions. You technically get stronger earlier than the Naga is, so you can chew through these illusions sooner. Okay. How do you feel about this last pick Pudge here?
I can dig it. I really think that Pudge is a super strong answer to like these illusion type heroes. Not only do you deal well with them, like in the team fights, you deal with the wave clear. He also has, I mean, a lot of heroes to play off of, right? You have some team fight from Nick. With the Tombstone, if you buy a BKB or a Hood, you're going to be very strong in the game as well. But my eyes right now are on this last pick for Wildcard, because like I said, you need some team fight. And you need a hero that goes in and locks people down so that Silencer and Snapfire also have purpose. These heroes want to fight when they have their spells. But right now, Lina and Naga, they can't really do it. So you need like a Mars or maybe a Pangolier type hero who usually doesn't feel the best to be last pick because his laning is a little bit subpar. But that's the type of hero that Wildcard should be aiming for in this draft.
Dalai Lama, it's all on you, fam. 30 seconds for the decision to be made.
Honestly,
and
really
for us to see whether or not Wildcard Gaming have what it takes to push Team Liquid to the brink. Last time he played Mars, what other offlaners are gone now? There's no Primal Beast, there's no Enigma, there's no Axe. Who's going to start your fight?
I can see like a Pango with Vessel, like any offlaner that gives a stun with Vessel, okay. I think Mars is okay. I would say that they're not incredible against like the Pudge in the lane, but they're gonna give you what you want in the draft. Slardar, okay. It gives you... I would say that they traded a little bit of the team fighting cap for the fact that they potentially have a better lane. Slardar lanes fairly okay into Pudge. The Undying one is... It should be a good lane for Wildcard with Snap Slardar. It's like a triple, quad, nuke type, double stun lane. And the Amplify is good later with Lina. So I think the pick is okay. Maybe not ideal, but it gives them, you know, kind of what they needed.
Gives them also, they were lacking a big option for taking Roshan earlier on. It helps them in that regard. Also helps them with some vision at some point into the next assassin. So, okay. I can also see the Slaughter pick at the very end here for Divine Llama. I was also thinking that although the lane is going to be a lot better, the problem that I sometimes have with Slaughter is that post-laning phase portion of the game, right? If the lane doesn't go amazingly for you, and you don't get that initial item for yourself, then unlike with the Mars where you just show up, provided you have a decent angle of initiation, you pop the R, suddenly that's an automatic team fight. With Slaughter, it can be a little bit iffy. It's very reliant on things going very well early on. To be fair to Wildcard Gaming, outside of the one death on Divine Llama, the laning phase didn't go that poorly in the last game, right? It was on this side of the map, rather, in the off lane. It was okay. So the question is, Kezu, you know what's coming? Which puzzle do you like more? Which picture fits together the best? Are we having a Wildcard 1-1 or a Team Liquid 2-0?
I think that Liquid's draft is, once again, slightly better. So I'm going to have to favor them. I think at some point in this game, we may have a similar story where you're going to have Dalai Lama jump in. Maybe they kill one hero, but then they have expanded all of their spells. And then I just feel like Liquid will turn it around on them. The heroes are too tanky. And I feel like Wildcard's draft is lacking a little bit of like cohesion and structure. So I would slightly favor Liquid. But if Wildcard can do well with the starter in the lane, and once again with Alone in the mid lane on this Lina, then, you know, that might just blast everything out of the picture of what I just said. And then I'll look like a dumbass, which, you know, I would be happy with that. If Wildcard can pull it out and have a good game once again, I would be super happy to see that.
Very happy indeed if Wildcard will make this tournament a bit more entertaining. But of course, if you're a Team Liquid fan, you're hoping that they can mop this one up 2-0 and just go clear to the top of the group. All right, as these teams are smoked up, you know what we got to do, Kezu. First player to get to 15 denies. This has to be Alone, right?
Yeah, it's Lina or Naga. I'm thinking who's going to have a better time. Which one of these two are we taking?
I'm taking Lina. I mean, we saw last game had a pretty good time mid.
Okay, I'll stick with Lina too.
Yeah. Total number of smoke ganks by 25 minutes. Well, we already have one now, so definitely more than 0-2. 3-5. How do you feel?
Yeah, I will be done with that.
Total number of smoke gang kills at the end of the game. Ooh, now that's an entertaining one.
I'm gonna go with 13 plus. I think this game might last a bit, and there's gonna be lots of like smoked fights.
Okay. And the last one. Wait, Divine Llama might die here. Let's just see. He's scouting inside the Radiant Triangle. And I think he's certainly going to end up being able to get himself...
Nice.
Oh, no, never mind.
Impale.
Beautiful Impale. Divine Llama does drop down the nice Slithering Crush, but it's not going to be enough to save his life. So we'll end up taking a tumble. That's first blood. This time around, it's Team Liquid that are able to claim it.
It's, I mean, very nice for them to like be in this area together. They had this high ground ward. Also have to mention, Wildcard did get to D-ward one of the Liquid wards because they spotted, I think, I don't know who exactly was placing it, but Wildcard had a very early mid ward that scouted out them placing the ward in the jungle, so they got to clear that. As Liquid right now are hoping to get the correct lane matchup with Pudge against Naga Siren, which it looks like they will with this great high ground ward that they have spotting the Naga running up top right now.
That's probably why they actually made that big smoke, right? To try and get this ward out to know exactly what the
Yeah.
matchup was going to be. Pudge obviously just has to waddle his way over, and in the meantime, we get to witness the rerun of this mid lane matchup. Mickey versus Alone. Last time out, Alone was able to get the better of the matchup, but he did start out with the boost in gold from the first blood. So it's going to be curious to see how well he does without that additional boost. But generally, Lina should end up winning that matchup regardless, right?
Yeah, I think it's like a slight win, especially if it's a Quas Vex Invoker. I think Lina should definitely be looking to, you know, be a little bit ahead. And I also believe that what Liquid are doing with their lanes in this game is very good. It doesn't really change the game too much for Pudge. I would even say it's slightly better. He should be happy against Naga in the lane. And Visage will feel a lot better laning against Slardar than he does against Naga Siren. There's definitely a threat still for this wildcard lane to for them to play aggressive, excuse me, and to like score some kills. But if Liquid play properly, then they should be okay. Alex is getting very blocked in this scenario right now.
Boxy has 5 seconds until Impale is up. Zai has the Grave Chill up in 3, but Alex is playing carefully, trying not to overexpose himself. Well, he might still die here. Needs to be careful, my friend. Be very, very careful. Double-elimination is just going to do his best to get as much out of the lane in the meantime as possible. They actually might try to turn back onto Alex as Boxy will find the Impale.
Fairy Fire.
Soul Assumption is there. Fairy Fire will come out to keep him alive on Alex. It's just a small skirmish, but I think they're just saying hello to each other. These pokes and prods, everybody knows that, yeah, guys, no one's really dying, are we? We're just saying what's up.
Yeah, these small pokes, at least at this stage in the game, should benefit Liquid a little bit. They have a Ring of Basilius on Zai to help them out with the spam. So what's important for Wildcard in this lane is that you're constantly on high HP, that you want to have tangles and stick charges, because Visage doesn't really kill you from full HP, as Double-elimination again taking a lot of pressure. So this is the type of lane where they don't kill you from full to 0. They want to whittle you down once to like 60%, 70%. And if you stay in death threshold, then you can die. So this is what Wildcard need to avoid in this lane. As Insania.
Insania will find himself getting hooked back though by Matu for safety. That is going to be a very annoying thing for them to deal with on the side of Wildcard Gaming, especially because their kind of lockdown is primarily single target. So any solitary target, if it's not Matu, they can just be hooked out back into safety. And top lane, Sam is actually going to end up losing his life here. Did throw out the young Arcane Curse, but he dies regardless. Bottom, Boxy also going to end up taking a tumble as Eves now is the one that's in danger. Ran down by the rot of Matu. That is the actual worst case scenario for Wildcard Gaming. It's one thing to give up the life of the Silencer. It's one thing to give up a double kill with your core hero as well. It's another to give them both up to a pudge at this early point in the game here, Kezu.
Yeah, especially with him being later picked as Double-elimination bottom.
It's fine.
He barely gets out of this play. I mean, to be fair, Liquid really needed this to happen at the top lane, because looking at bottom right now, Zai is... His CS chart is very low. Luckily for him, his net worth is okay, because Radiant are losing a lot of consumables. Like, if we look at it, Slaughter has 9 more CS than him, but they're sitting on the same net worth, which is very funny. As Alex taking a little bit more pressure again in the bottom lane.
They already committed the Grave Chill though, so they won't be able to kill him at that point. Nonetheless though, this game starting to look a bit difficult as top lane, yet again, Sammy's in danger. There's a tombstone in front of him. And Matu is now on a killing spree with this Pudge. Killing spree on Pudge, pre 5 minutes. 1 point into Flesh Heap. Yay! This is reminding me a little bit too much of my pubs, so I must try not to let that show.
Nice deny on the tomb. Yeah, I mean, this is... Well, it was a very good Naga game, and of course, Liquid, you know, they were going to respond with a pick that's good against it with their Pudge, and he is having... I mean, could he be asking for a better game at this point? I don't think so. Top of the net worth, 2,500 at 5 minutes. That is quite big. Alone, once again, is doing pretty well in the mid lane, though, winning ever so slightly with a few hundred net worth advantage at this point.
Unlike in the last game, though, we are seeing the influence of not having this uber early bottle, as last time around, his lead at this point was much more significant. But it's still okay. The question is, where do they... This game, what it does feel like, outside of the Slaughter, having Blink Dagger, the movement options around the map are a little bit limited. Do they actually have to wait for the Blink before the Lina can think about trying to help out on these side lanes?
It's, once again, a little bit awkward. Yeah, like, you're pretty much on the money. They don't have too many rotations possible for them, right? Like, Silencer is not going to run mid and gank an Invoker. First of all, it's even hard for Lina to set up a stun on his own. So most of the plays are probably just going to be ran through the Slardar or maybe the Snapfire in rotation. There's definitely some smokes you can go for, right, with those two, and then you cookie someone in. But Wildcard are going to play very passive, very slowly in the early game, whereas Liquid are probably going to look to up the pace with the Quasvex Invoker here by Mickey.
Playing Quasvex, showing us an additional dimension on this hero, so we're not going to be having the right-click version of him today, or in this game rather. Bottom lane, I'm also curious to see when they start making bigger moves as Zai after he gets his Wraith Pact. This Visage hero, they need to try and deal with it, but like you just mentioned, because it's somewhat awkward how they move around the map, Wildcard will struggle to really put the screws onto Zai. So far though, he's not having the best laning phase like you mentioned, but eventually he will get there. As down bottom, Alex will find himself at the mercy of a rotation from Mika. The Snapfire should end up dying here. The question is, will there be some counter kills? Alex already gone. Boxy, beautiful impale onto Double-elimination. And that's at the end of the duration of the sprint here, Kezu. He's actually going to get out on Boxy.
Yeah, I mean, they're playing very nicely. It all starts with Boxy taking the active rune down bottom with the arcane, then running over to steal the bounty rune. Now he's trying to get out a sneaky ward that doesn't get spotted because, I mean, Wildcard kind of know because they were trailing him that he was holding a ward. I think this location is pretty good. It may not get dewarded. Nice movement also by Mickey down bottom. Alone didn't get all that much tower pressure off in the mid lane while Mickey was gone because there was no siege. And yeah, I mean, looking at Sarda, he's struggling a little bit with the health at this point, and Zai is on full HP.
Top lane.
So this lane can change very soon.
Top lane. Well, this is not a change in the laning status quo, unfortunately, with Eves finding himself dead again. That's going to be a secondary death on this hero. Insania's first kill and Matu being involved in the fourth kill of the game. Ooh, that hurts. That hurts a lot. Can you play? I don't think you can play this lane anymore, can you, as a Naga?
Yeah, I think Naga, it's time to hit the jungle now, especially with... I think Liquid just played this lane very, very well. I like that Matu rushed boot.
That hurts. That hurts a lot. Can you play? I don't think you can play this lane anymore, can you, as a Naga?
Yeah, I think Naga, it's time to hit the jungle now, especially with... I think Liquid just played this lane very, very well. I like that Matu rushed boots, then rushed phase boots to just play very aggressive, because if he gets on top of them, Naga and Silencer, they don't protect each other at all, right? And you have an Undying that puts them on even lower HP. If you do drop low HP on Pudge, you can go for the Soul Rip, so you didn't need the early Ring of Health, so just very nice by them. But mid lane, Mickey.
Oh,
no. Gonna be fine.
Oh my god.
That was very close.
You know what that was? That's alone not having access to a higher tier of boots, only sitting on the brown boots. If he had anything else, he would have caught him and killed him. Bottom lane though, they're about to catch and kill Zai. So that's at least one bright spot happening from Wildcard Gaming. Eves, as you mentioned, has vacated this top part of the map. It's like, well, this Pudge is playing too aggressively for my liking. Time to come bottom. And on the bright side, you were talking about how Davai Lama's done a really good job of depressing Zai in the bottom lane. He's done a good enough job that Nyx or the Naga showing up here is not going to feel like you're coming into an even worse matchup, right? You're fine. You're going to feel pretty good about this as top lane. They're trying to find a kill onto Matumba, man. He's eaten the amplified damage, but I don't know if they have enough for this. Hook back on the slaughter. They're going to easily be able to burst him down. Zai makes the rotation. Even Mika is here as well. They found the tornado onto Sammy.
Everyone is here.
Attempting to run away from the tombstone. Not going to be allowed to do so. Chased down by the Soul Assumption and the Rot of Matu. The only person seems to be surviving is Sam. But even that, there's no guarantees. Mika is coming in. Mika has the cold snap. Got the additional right clicks. And they should be able to get this kill. Sam does not get hit by the decay, but one more right click will kill him. And unfortunately for him, he's walking right underneath an observer ward. So they have the perfect vision to be able to bring him down.
That was, like, the initial happenings of all of that was very good for Wildcard, right? We touched on Naga, he can't really lane top, so he goes bottom, he gets a kill. These are one of the best things you can do, that you lane swap with a kill at the same time, but then they overplay top a little bit. Nice reaction by Liquid there. Zai TPs because they naturally want to swap the lanes anyway, and now they might be taking this entire tier 1 tower. Wow. The next time they get this lane pushed in, this tower will die, as Zai will trade away his birds though. Or perhaps just one.
Let's see how many are going to die. Might even be 0. The one on the left is fine. Or maybe he dies himself, actually, because Davai Lama is just going to run him onto his face and end up getting that kill. Sammy does give up the ghost towards this Pudge, but I feel like if you're Wildcard Gaming, you'll take it, right? You know that Sammy is going to be kind of food for a little bit of time right now. It's acceptable. He doesn't have the global just yet. But getting a kill onto Zai, you delay the progress of that Visage and delay the Wraith Pack, delay the Aghanim's. So you're, I guess, okay with this, but it still doesn't feel good to be feeding this Pudge. He has 7 stacks of the Flesh Heap already.
Yeah, I mean, Matu, he's gonna be very happy with this game so far. I think also if you're Zai, yeah, it's not ideal dying, but I would prefer to die actually than lose my birds, because he still had very high cooldown on that. I'm just kind of trying to look at the next minutes of this game, because as we touched on, it's not that easy for Wildcard to make many more moves. As Davai Lama in a bit of trouble, gets cookied out. Good job by Alex. They're going to take down the tomb as well. Can they chase here?
They need the LSA. They don't have it for another second. He threw out the Laguna Blade just to say, I have this, bro. You know, be careful. It's a warning shot.
It's always good to show that your spells are indeed working, so I like that.
Gotta do the button checks, man.
Okay, so it's a 1k gold lead at this point for Liquid, and Eves is starting to recover with the nice rotation we talked about, understanding that he can't go back to top, so he's just gonna keep farming out the areas. But I'm struggling a little bit as we have a setup on top onto Double-elimination as well.
Double-elimination's dead. Bye-bye. That's going to be a pretty easy kill for Matu. Mega kill. Mega kill streak pre-12 minutes. Sweet, bro.
So I'm always a big fan of like trying to find the things you can do even when the game seems very hard, because they are only down 1,000 gold, but the plays for them, I can only try to relate to how they feel, because this game is most likely very stressful for them right now. They're not feeling too good, but making plays, man, it is very hard to find an opening for them. You have no real initiation. Your Silencer is still struggling with levels. He's level 4. Your Slardar is like in between his farming item and his killing item. And Liquid are kind of ready. Like, look at this Pudge. He's sitting on 1800 HP with a hood and a point booster. And you're lacking damage and teamfight at this point. So Matu's game is not going to change at any time. I mean, on the contrary, he's going to sit on the top of the network, I think, presumably, for this entire game.
Having a phenomenal time on this Pudge. And you were just mentioning how hard it is for them to make moves on the map. What sucks even more is when we look at this net worth, the two heroes that they absolutely need to make those moves are the two heroes that are really struggling to get experience and net worth. Slaughter in particular, like you said, he's just got his Mask of Madness now though. So this will allow him to keep farming closer towards the blink. I suppose, given that they are playing Naga Siren, you were speaking earlier about how they're going to be playing a much slower paced game. I suppose it doesn't necessarily fully bother them that this game is not going fully in their favor, that they don't have their key items to initiate fights just yet, as long as they're not losing out too terribly gold-wise. Because they do have two heavy farmers in the Lina and the Naga Siren, and both of them, just like last game, are at the top of these network charts. Obviously not number 1, but, you know, things could be much, much worse right now for Wildcard Gaming.
Yeah, so I'm guessing for Wildcard, especially, they have to understand that they cannot really make moves, right? So whether that makes, you just have to accept it, whether that's good or bad. You have to make the best out of it. So the Naga goes top, they take the tower, nice job by them. I think eventually if Liquid reach too far into like your jungle or your area, I think then you can fight. But Wildcard themselves should not look to go too aggressively into Liquid, unless Liquid are showing themselves on like the Wildcards, maybe tier 1 towers as we see in mid, or too deep in the jungle, as Matu up top is still rooted for now.
He's getting gone on. Do they have what it takes to kill him? Sam doesn't have the global silence, so can't protect him using that. Modi's kisses will rain down on him, and it's actually going to be enough to get that kill. It's unfortunate it's the snap that gets that gold, but it's a huge amount of gold nonetheless, as they end the mega kill streak, taking down this Pudge. I mean, only Mika came top. I think they, you know, sometimes you're a victim of your own success. Pudge felt really, really tanky until like they threw everything at him. So I can imagine him telling the team, guys, I'll be fine. Oh, wait, no, I won't be fine. I'm actually dead now. My bad.
Yeah, he must have felt good as Double-elimination mid. Cookie, is it in time? Nope.
It's not. The Cookie does come out, but he's still going to die to the damage of the Soul Assumption. And now Boxy, the question is, can he escape out of this? The familiar drops will buy some space and time here. LSA is going to be up in a couple of seconds. Alone needs to be careful though. Boxy also has the Impale at the ready, and they're going to turn it towards Sam, who's low on the HP. Level 6 has just been picked up. Dodges the Visage Familiar, but cannot dodge the Tornado, so will end up dead as a result. They're also able to jump in and kill Alex. Alone, finding himself 1v1 versus the Undying. Will end up winning that fight, and they need to buy back and throw in the global, but Alone is still in danger, tanking so many right clicks. Piggy pole to the western part of the fight. And now Mickey also found himself falling a little bit too low for comfort, forced to back off on the aggression. Alright, 1-for-1 trade, or 1-for-2 rather, since they bought back on the Silencer. And Zai now coming across this Naga side, as on the other side of things, we do end up losing Boxy to Alone. The question is, will they be able to punish Zai for this as well? Nice body blocks from the Illusions. Alex is here, has the Fire Snap Cookie at the ready, will throw it out. Enables them to get the kill onto the Visage. Okay, starting to get better and better here for the side of Wildcard Gaming. Yes, you commit 2 heroes. Yes, you end up losing, using the global silence as well, basically as soon as it comes back. But on the bright side, you end up killing the Visage. Pretty big deal at this stage of the game.
That's very big what Wildcard are doing in the last couple of minutes, starting from the kill top on Matu, as we mentioned, with this minus armor, as we have more action. Nope, never mind. Thank you, guys. Let me try to finish my point. The kill on Pudge was huge, slowing down his game and helping out the Naga. Now they're actually like pretty much at the same net worth at this point, which is really big for them. I have to say that I think if Mickey perhaps had a level in Xrd, or if Boxy was the one to TP top, perhaps Matu could have lived, but overall, Wildcard are doing very well right now. Eves is getting to, I mean, recover tremendously. He's now at the top.
I mean, we get to see some of these cascading effects in Dota, right? Where bottom lane, hold on, we'll talk about it in a second. As Sammy got hooked in by Matu, will be allowed to escape for now. Slowed down by the big shots. Ooh, Snapfire and Slaughter both caught in by the double impale of Boxy. And with the EMP to follow that one up, Matu and Invoker will get the cleanup job. Sammy, be careful, be careful. Sunstrike won't connect. Matu looking for the hook. It's only level 1 hook. He's still closing the gap. Will he get it? Impale dodged.
Another sidestep.
Sammy dodges again. Sammy's got the J's on his feet today, man. Dancing around Team Liquid right now.
Yeah, good job by him. I like that they're throwing out the voice line. That was a nice little instance here in the game. And Liquid. So if they're in close vicinity of the Pudge, it is very hard for Wildcard to do the move that they did earlier. Especially now with him also having the Aghanim, so it was good by Liquid to try and reinforce it. Deny by
Sammy!
Yeah, okay.
But Alone's in danger.
Alone, help.
Forced to BKB. He gets off the LSA. Going in onto Boxy, able to get the kill. Global Silence committed as well. Now they have to try and escape. Fire Snap Cookie catches onto Matumba Man. He's been hit with the Corrosive Haze and the Morty's Kisses. Do they have enough to kill him though? This Aghanim Scepter here doing so much work, but eventually Alone does even more. Able to get the kill, but now they need to run. As Mickey and Zai are on cleanup duty right now. They've already brought down both supports and the E's Naga Siren. Forced to run on Wildcard Gaming. They still lose the tier 2 tower. And this is so scary. You commit so much to kill the Pudge, but man, does it take so many resources that you have nothing left for the rest of the team fight.
Yeah, I mean, you can kind of see that they're using all this. So this start is actually kind of cool. Like Alone lingering here, knowing that, yo, I can man up, I have this BKB. You can global for me here so that Pudge can't use his dismember. So they use a lot on the snakes. But the problem is they use so many spells and Matu is so tanky, he gets off the Flesh Heap with the Rave Pact that he's just not taking enough damage, and their tank is kind of empty a bit too early, as we touched on, you know, early in the game, that this could be an issue, and it kind of showed here in this fight.
Yep. And poor Naga Siren learning why there's Pudges picked into these illusion heroes. Eves, oh no! Nyx Assassin preventing this Naga from being allowed to play Dota today. That's a quick death. Divine Llama, you need to try and escape, you and Alex. Alex gets thrown out with the tornado. And so that's certainly a dead Snapfire. Everybody else needs to leave this area. Also give up the Roche, because there's no way Team Liquid don't just go straight into the pit off the back of that victory.
Yeah, I mean, Liquid are playing very, very fast. They understand what is happening in this game, how strong they really are. Boxy, once again, second game where he's really on point with his Nyx Assassin. All their items are very good, and the Wildcard cannot fight Liquid right now, not 5-on-5. They need to split them up, they need more items. Naga needs to get a Mage Slayer, maybe even a Skadi. You need Slaughter to finish either his Blink or BKB, so really all for Wildcard, they need to dodge, and they need like more net worth on the heroes. And Liquid, they will try their hardest and best to not let this happen. They're gonna keep pushing forward, which is exactly what they have to do at this stage.
Aegis in tow for the Matumba Man. Pudge is about to buy a Blink Dagger as well. Yeah, they see them. This Observer with Scouts in the triangle. Alone does have BKB, but they have Dismember to cancel the TP attempt out. They'll go for Sam instead. And nice hook there from Matu. And well, I think he was hoping for the kill because he wanted an additional Flesh Heap stack. But I don't think he deserves it after that hook. It's fine, bro. Gotta get the next one. Top. Oh no. Eves, yet again in danger. Yet again surrounded. Sunstrike will be there. And yet again, Zai will kill him with the Soul Assumption. Divine Llama looking for the instant revenge. We'll be able to find it, I think, here. Snapfire, Fire Scatterblast, able to make it happen. But now here's Insania in the Flash Golem mode. Wants to fight against the Slaughter. He knows that he has the advantage here. They have the Tombstone, they have the Nyx Assassin nearby, and they should be able to find this kill. In the meantime, Alex also got taken out by the Visage Familiars in the side of the trees. So even if Zai dies, he can still kill you from beyond the grave. And just like that, Kizu, Alone is the only hero left on the map.
Yeah, I mean, Alone is actually having a sick game yet again, 4-0, but it is so hard for him to get things done in these fights. Like, we can see once again, Wildcard, they come and help their teammates, but the damage from Liquid, it doesn't stop, right? Like Visage, he's gonna keep pumping out his soul assumptions. He has the Wraith Pack, the birds, the tombstone, all the heals. Like you can just see that Liquid just have 50 million spells, whereas Wildcard, they're very single target and they run out of gas too early. It is just so hard for them to fight.
The older dodger, but game is hard. Certainly true right now for the side of Wildcard Gaming. And the game only gets more difficult as time goes on. There are some bright spots though. They just picked up the Blink Dagger for Double-elimination, so for the first time in this entire game, they actually have some ways to get forward. They can be expansive in the initiation rather than reactive. Alone also just got a Chrysalis, so we have a little bit more damage output coming in from him as well. So we are slowly but surely getting there. The problem child is still going to be Eves, because Naga's always that like one more item hero, right? That no matter what phase of the game you are, you're like, man, it needs one more item. Speaking of Blink Daggers though, Matu blinks heads up onto Alone. Will end up getting LS8 for his troubles. Doesn't have a BKB, but did draw out the Global Silence. Huge soul rip. Keeps him at very high HP levels. And though he misses the hook onto Alex, it's not going to matter in the least, as they still end up with the kill onto the Snapfire. Can they defend this high ground 4v5, Kezu, is the question. Even though he does have buyback. It always sucks to use it pre-25 seconds or anything.
Yeah, I don't think this buyback will change anything. It's a very nice play by Matu to just go in. Like, he forces the BKB plus global, doesn't even die, and now they just continue. And I mean, what is going to stop them? You can haze all 5 heroes if you want, and I don't think Liquid will care. They have the birds, Alacrity, a 200 damage Pudge with Aegis who's just going to track down your racks. And yeah, I mean, rightfully so. Wildcard are just going to look to get as much net worth as they can, but it comes at the cost of a Rax.
Yeah. An entire Rax taken through this mid lane. And it's Team Liquid setting up for more. They're already starting to move through bottom. So Boxy scouting this area out. They're almost certainly going to push in through this side of the map as well. Wildcard Gaming. How far are we towards the heart here? E is very far away. Only 2100 gold. And I'm not even sure what items you get on Lina anymore. I know Slaughter still needs BKB, but what's the next option here for Lina? Does she go AC? Does she need like Lincoln Sphere so she can't get Blink dismembered?
Lina
where do you go?
As we have to hold that thought, as Samus gets eaten in his own base by Matu, and he knows that he certainly cannot. I mean, can he even die once? He has an Aegis. He knows he's not gonna die twice, but I'm struggling to see him even die once at this point.
He's got 2500 HP.
Into the hook.
Beautiful impale into hook combo.
That's the YouTube compilation play I was talking about yesterday. That was beautiful. Love to see it.
Woo. Team Liquid.
I mean, is that just the second Rax gone? And to go back to Lina, he needs to go full damage. Their creep wave is coming soon, so they will be able to finish this one. I mean, the only way they can win is if Alone goes like some Daedalus. I wouldn't even fault him for queuing up a Divine Rapier after that and hope that he just gets to right-click heroes, because I think Naga, if he gets this, he gets the heart. I feel like it's the type of point where, sure, you get another item, but does a defensive item change anything of the game? Like, it doesn't help you deal with the Pudge. Sure, you get to stay alive longer, but that doesn't make any difference for how the fights will play out. You lack damage. Sure, you survive longer, but what does it actually do?
Yeah. It doesn't necessarily change the status quo of what things look like on the map. And speaking of the status quo, Boxy has found this exact initiation so many times today. Gets the impale, gets the vendetta hit, and gets the kill onto Ease. That literally his third death in the same spot for the Ease Naga Silence set up by Boxy. Game is super hard right now. Beyond godlike from Mike. Alone forced to pop the BKB just to avoid Boxy. They might be able to find revenge onto the Nyx Assassin, and they do. But Sammy will also find himself taken down as Mika earns a double kill off the back of this. And they're not done just yet. Tornado onto Alex. Matu has the hook. Matu will be able to bring him right out of the base. And Mika gets the kill. A triple for the Invoker. 14-0-3 on the Invoker performance here. This is after his performance last game where he went 13-2-12. I think he's okay with this hero.
Yeah, I think he's not too bad. They're playing really well. It's not the first time they're playing Invoker, not the first time they're playing Pudge, you can tell. And Boxy is, I think he's really bringing it all together now with the setups into the Sunstrikes, both in the last game. This game, mid lane, hello Double-elimination and by Double-elimination.
Well, I was asking you earlier, are they planning for game number 2? I think they're not planning for series number 2 because the way back into this one looks very, very complicated. Eves will try. He has BKB. He asks for the buyback on the Slaughter. They don't want to give up the Megas, and they're going for the wraparound, the final smoke wraparound. I think this might be the first song of the game, actually. And it does come out.
Yep.
Catching on to these heroes. They destroy the tombstone. Alex setting up for the Morty's Kisses. Where is
Let's
Alone?
strike
LSA will hit. Oh, no, it misses! Mistimed. Alone then gets dismembered through the BKB. He's already gone. Morty's Kisses can't even kill Insania, as they've lost the Vilama. They've lost Alone. They're about to lose Sammy. And now they officially lost the game. As they call GG, Eves will die. And that's Team Liquid claiming the 2-0 sweep over the side of Wildcard Gaming and going definitively to the top of group number B.
Yeah, Liquid are looking very good. I can't really stress it enough. Their picks are good. The way they're playing is good. They play fast. They play well together. They have cohesion. They have synergy. It looks great. Looking at Wildcard, they're 1-5